Welcome back to the Money Script Podcast. I'm your host, Johanse Harrison. Yo, Harrison. You know who it is. Yeah, I'm so happy to be with you guys this week. I have an incredible guest today. I'm just getting hungry thinking about the fact that he is with us today. Hopefully we won't talk about food too much. I want to warn you that we will probably talk about food on this episode. So if you haven't had anything to eat, you probably want to go ahead and grab a snack real quick because you might get hungry. I have the legendary, coming out of LA, Chef Raw of Frat Boy Cuisines here with me today. Chef, man, I'm just thinking about some of the food. What was that event we did together? Oh man, was that one of Kedar's shows? Or no, maybe it was for Marcus. I don't remember where you were, but you had the best little tangy sauce that went with some little chicken skewer thing. I don't know. It was amazing. You made a sandwich that one time too. Oh, we're having sandwiches. I was like, okay, professional chef made sandwiches. All right, well, man, I was licking my fingers. There was a crab something that was the appetizer. There wasn't enough. No, you're talking.
It was for Bilal.
That was for Bilal. That's what it was. Okay.
I think it was Bilal. Yeah. We did the little shoot with the Valentine's Day shoot. I think it was.
Is that with Kelly? Is that the one we did with Kelly?
Oh no. I'm not sure, bro. It's been. I
don't know. We've done a few of them. I don't know. They were all.
We've done a few of them.
Oh, they was man. That was. Whew. Oh.
Instead of trying to pinpoint the deliciousness, right?
I'm just trying to pinpoint.
Oh, I know. I remember what it was now. I do remember. It was for Mark's event at his house. He did it on the rooftop. It had a bunch of appetizers,
yes,
like that, with the crab cakes and then the skewers and then that's what it was. It was
See?
Mark. That's what the one it was.
Yeah, I need that. Whatever that sauce was for the skewer. That's when I saw in that video you did the other day. You said it was cherry cola chicken sandwiches that you made in the air fryer.
It was a
Okay, and you said cherry cola, and so immediately I'm thinking cherry Coke.
Cherry wine
or cherry. No, but that's what I was. Oh, it's cherry wine.
No. Cheer wine.
Cheer wine. Yes, that's what I was. That's what I started thinking about. And I saw you do the ingredients. I was like, oh, that's gonna taste like that. It just blew my mind. I was like, oh, that's how you get that taste. I haven't done it yet.
To North Carolina.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I did save that video because that's coming to an air fryer near this house. Alicia doesn't know it yet. She doesn't know. That's going to be the one night I make dinner. She's like, oh, okay. And see, that's the thing. I can't do that often. I have to just stick to it's my night.
Pull it out your back pocket every now and then.
Oh, we're just going to have the grill. Oh, it's my night to cook. Oh, I got this leftovers. But one night I'm just going to pull that one out. Like I said, I just got to be careful because she'll be reminiscing back to that time every time. So Chef Raw, welcome to the Money Script Podcast. Again, thank you for taking some time with us. I'm excited about the time we're going to spend together. I want to use this time really to talk about you being an entrepreneur, because we like to honor entrepreneurs here. It takes a lot of risk. It takes a lot of risk. It takes a lot of self-confidence. It takes a lot of failure as well. So we really like to hear the story about where Chef Raw came to be. And just some of the things you've gone through, especially being a chef during the worst global pandemic that we've seen in our lifetime, and how you're able to reinvent yourself through that. And then, of course, we're going to talk about some money stuff. We'll get into that later. But with no further ado, I want to turn it over to you. So just introduce yourself for the folks and give us a little bit of how you got to where you are today.
Okay, cool. So what's going on, everybody? I'm Chef Raw, or Jermaine Rawlings is my full name. I'm a chef now. I run my own catering company and private chef services. I've been doing that since about 2015. And most people don't know this, but I'm not classically trained. I never went to culinary school or anything like that. It's not a secret, but also I'm just not hey guys, never went to culinary school. But the way I actually got into cooking was let me rewind a little bit. So what brought me to LA was I was in the military. So I was in the military, graduated from college, commissioned as an officer, moved to LA, and working in LA, I realized that I couldn't get all the food and stuff that I wanted from back home, as well as grandmother's meals, mother's meals. And I'm like, man, I don't need to catch a flight back to Maryland just to get something good to eat. And then also on the East Coast, I don't know if you're familiar or not, but Caribbean food on the East Coast is very, very good. And then here, I feel like it's all right. So knowing that, I decided to one, talk to my family members and everything to get recipes and kind of start cooking stuff on my own and honing in on that. And two, to get the good Caribbean food that I couldn't get here. So after that, like my friends started to, notice that my food was good. It's entertaining, hosting, throwing parties and whatnot. And then I got out the military, went to business school and at USC. And while I was there, one of my friends suggested that I apply for the show MasterChef. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I applied for that show and I actually made it to the top 100 to the point where like I was like right before the last cut before I went on the show. So I had my bags packed. I'm in Burbank doing all these last auditions and whatnot. And then they sent your boy packing.
Oh, but again, top 100. I mean,
yeah.
So what?
20,000 competitors.
Do you remember how many thousand?
They said over 20,000 people.
20,000, top 100. So all my college students out there, that's your trivia for this week. What percentage is that? If you're making the top 100 out of 20,000, what is it? Don't tell them, chef. Just let them figure it out. So you made it to the top 100. Do you remember like what one of your most memorable meals that you had to cook, or think something you had to prepare when you were in that competition? What would you say was your most memorable?
I did a garlic shrimp with a lemon saffron sauce and charred broccolini.
Charred broccolini. All right. I told you you're going to get hungry in this episode. I like this.
A little razzle dazzle,
I see. Not just broccoli, broccolini. Broccolini.
But yeah, so going through that process of like, honing in skills and trying to get ready for this show, picked up some new techniques, worked on plating and whatnot. And then from there, I'm like, well, if I can make it to the top 100 doing this, then why not try to make a little money off of this, or, get a little better. So from there, I started small, doing smaller events, then got to bigger events, and then, yeah, here I am today.
So I didn't know that we've been rocking since your early days. I mean, that's probably, I think we've known you almost 5 years. It's been around 2015, 16, somewhere in that range. Dang. Yeah. All right. By the time you came around, I figured you'd been doing it for a decade. I mean,
I was new, brother. I was fresh.
Oh man. That actually changes my whole perspective on the whole deal. Interesting. I didn't know. I did not realize that it was a new decision. So you are a full-time caterer. Is that so? That's your 100%. That's where all your income comes from right now. Catering.
Actually, no.
Okay.
So when I started out, I was doing it full time, but then I noticed that a lot of in this industry, it's a lot of nights and weekends and holidays where I realized I was getting majority of my bookings. So like during the day, I don't want to say I was twiddling my thumbs, but I realized that I could probably be making a little better use of my time. And I didn't want to go too hard with that because I wanted to keep like certain clientele and do certain events. Mm. So I actually picked up a job working at the Air Force base. Cause I told you, Air Force veteran.
Did mention military, yes.
Mm-hmm. So my 9 to 5, I do that.
Oh, so you have a 9 to 5? I didn't even know you had a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I do both.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So do you think that there is a time where you'll only do one, or do you have specific financial goals that require you to keep that 9 to 5?
Honestly, I'm not. The 9 to 5 isn't necessarily. It's not. I don't want to say it's not a requirement for me, but for me, it's like it's leaving money on the table. If I like, I could.
It's the time.
I can easily do that and do my catering and whatnot. So, and my job is super flexible. When I'm like, if I do have one of those jobs that are during the week or early on, I could always just take off. Like it's super flexible. So I haven't really missed out on any opportunities because of my job. And that actually comes in handy through this time through the pandemic, because it's like, okay, well, not too many gigs. I'm pivoting to I'm actually thinking about moving away from the catering, actually.
So you heard it first. Is this the first time you've broadcasted this? Is this breaking news?
I think it is, actually.
Oh, we got breaking news. All right, breaking news. I don't have the horn to play, but if I did, I'd play it. Burn, burn, burn. All right, so tell us. so where are you? So you're seeing that? Well, actually, I gotta believe that the pandemic had to have something to do with this decision. I mean, because it
Oh,
was.
absolutely. So two things. Pandemic. Also, I have a son. So my son is, he's almost a year and a half now. And through this, he was born like right in the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, welcome
November of
to the earth,
yeah.
son. I am here to protect you. Don't know how I'm gonna protect you from that, but okay, we're gonna try. All right, man.
Exactly.
Man, yeah, that being a caterer in a pandemic where it's mainly large events. I mean, you're in California. And you're not like Texas right now. Or Texas, I mean, everybody's out right now. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, Texas and Atlanta, nothing's
Okay,
shut down.
well, Texas did shut down. Atlanta never shut down. Atlanta just said, "Huh? What? Yeah, the club's open."
Nah, not here. Never mind.
Yeah. So, so yeah, everybody's giving Texas all this slack this week. I've been getting calls. Everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I still wear my mask. It's cool. Like, oh, I heard everything's open. Like, man, Atlanta been open. Go check on your friends in Atlanta.
Go check on them. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so tell us where are you? How are you pivoting Frat Boy Cuisines featuring Chef Raw? How are you making the pivot?
So just to tell you why the pivot, it's not necessary because I've still been getting gigs or getting inquiries about gigs and whatnot. So with that, my minimum just went up because it's more risk and given the state. But also it's like I'm looking at my time and like every minute away from my son, I just feel guilty. So it's like, well, how can I better use my time? Because people just see the one event versus like there's a lot of stuff that goes into the event. There's the preparation. You gotta go shopping, then you gotta prep everything, then you gotta get everything together, then you gotta go to location, you gotta set everything up, break everything down, clean up, then come back and put everything away. It's just it ends up being quite a bit. So from there, I already started to kind of like, I think I might be just the catering and doing events has maybe run its course. But and then from there, I started getting different bookings. Like I've done some stuff for a couple of different brands where like I'm doing personal videos. Those videos, some of the videos that you see online, like I'm doing personal content and sending it to the brand, and like they may be giving it to their employees as like something to do at home or as an activity.
Ooh, I see. So the pivot was just the fact that people are at home and different organizations want to provide different types of content for their people.
Exactly. Activities and just like things for them to do because they can't, people usually do like team building stuff and bring everybody together and do that way. So this is something I guess some brands and companies are like, all right, well, we can't meet up for team building, but let's send everybody this particular thing so they can cook at home.
Okay. See, now I just got to make it happen. So I had this conversation on a podcast, I don't know how many episodes ago, where I talked about having a client appreciation event. So Alicia and I don't know how many years ago, 2-3 years ago, at some point in the past, we went to a Groupon date night, and the date night was at a little sushi restaurant, and we made sushi, and it was amazing. It was a great night. It was probably, 4 other couples there, and I said to myself then, oh, this would be a great event to do, like as a client appreciation type event. And since the pandemic happened, I came up with the idea. I thought it was original, but obviously nothing new under the sun, of having a client appreciation night where we get a chef to come in and we would ship the clients the ingredients. See, you already know. Look at this. It's not a new idea. We would ship them the ingredients. I'd get like a wine company to ship the wine pairings, whatever. They get their ingredients, their wine. We hop on Zoom and we have a chef prepare meals, walk us through preparing meals. Now, I did envision it though, and maybe tell me if I'm wrong here, but I envisioned that that the chef has to prepare for it as if it's a television show where they're not actually going to cook everything. Everything would be kind of, how on the television show they're like, oh, they put it in the oven and 5 minutes later it's like, and the muffins are done.
Now, with this particular situation, you'd have to cook it with them. So it would have to cook it as we go.
However, this is what and again, I'm not a chef, so I don't know. What I thought was that we would send out to the clients different, entrees that they could choose from. So different packages so that you can account for we don't eat this, or we don't eat this, or we only eat this. So you could give 3 different items and they choose what they want. And then the chef would, and maybe you're that special chef, would have to have the skill to walk each person through at the same time. So it's like, hey, for those of you that are doing the tacos, you're going to prepare your taco meat, whatever it is. And for those of you that are doing the X, you're going to prepare your whatever it is. That couldn't work?
Nope.
Oh, damn it.
No. See, that's where my expertise comes in.
Maybe it does. See, we're just going to talk through this. We're going to figure this out.
No, that's in a situation like that, you would pick something where people are less likely to be, have those type of allergies. And then it would be maybe a situation where you just sub in one thing. So it would be the same dish, but say it would just be like one person is using mushrooms and one person is using chicken.
So I was thinking more about the all of the, because you could, from beef you can have beef, you can have, if it just, I'm thinking about plain old meals like, I don't know, spaghetti with meat sauce. You can have beef, you can have turkey, or you could have Beyond, or you could have just vegetables. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. In a situation like that, though,
okay.
I wouldn't have to, you would just...
Oh, we'd still use the same meal, but you would just... so I do need to keep the menu simple.
This person is making tacos and this person is making pasta. It's like, nah, we all making tacos, but you got chicken and you have mushrooms. And then you just dibble it down between the two. So who's making mushrooms? Okay, if you're making mushrooms, make sure you don't do this. Or hold up, it's like...
Got it. So, because I was thinking... Because I was trying to think of recreating just the dinner events. Because we used to, in the finance industry, we do dinner events for clients.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd spend money on prospects doing dinner events. Like, all right, listeners, if you're of a certain age, you've gotten a postcard in the mail that's invited you to your local restaurant for a steak dinner and hear someone talk about money. Okay? We used to call them lunch and learns. But even at those restaurants, you would have 3 different choices. I think that's where my brain was stuck. I was like, okay, you could choose this meal, this meal, or this meal.
Yeah, like if you go to a wedding or whatever.
Exactly.
Else, different options.
Okay, so we're gonna
now when you're cooking at home,
we're gonna have to brainstorm that one, brother. We're gonna have to brainstorm that because that is something that we want to do because there's still a lot of people cooking at home, and as a part of financial planning, a lot of times the conversations that we have with clients is about reducing their dining out expense. Because that tends to be an area where people just spend a lot of money. I mean, I'm guilty of doing it too. It happens.
I think we're all guilty. Exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to accuse everyone, but yes, there's a lot of us because it's so easy and food can be so good. So, but the cost. I mean, you can, for every dollar that you're able to spend in groceries, you can often reduce your dining out expense by $3 to $5, depending on where you're dining out. But the trade-off is time. Because then you have to choose to prepare the meals. And some of us are very limited in the kitchen. So let's go back to your past again. You talked about the Caribbean flavors. What was the first thing you ever cooked?
Like growing in my house, everybody cooks. So
okay.
Even as a kid, the only rule, when my parents were home, is we can't turn on the stove, but we would cook stuff in the microwave and whatever else. So I pretty much been cooking my whole life, But I say my first distinctive food memory was my brother and I was making my parents breakfast, and we made them some pancakes, scrambled eggs or whatever, and we pretty much thought nutmeg and cinnamon were pretty much the same.
I mean,
so we put, but when you put all nutmeg,
oh man.
So I remember we put so much nutmeg and whatnot in the pancakes, and then took them to my parents, here, and they're like, it's good. It's good, son. Is this nutmeg? I'm like, yeah. Not so much. So I just remember them grimacing through it. I'm like, yeah, I guess. So even now to this day, I'm a little scared of nutmeg. There you go.
Okay, scared of nutmeg. I love it. I love it. So speaking of memories from your past, what's your first memory of money? When did you realize that money was this object that could be spent, saved?
So my first memory of money is, I believe, my dad gave me $1 or something like that. I can't remember if I did anything or if he just gave it to me, but he said that you need to earn your money. And I'm like, okay, I need to earn my money. I don't know. I can't remember how old I was, but I know I was a kid. But I'm like, okay, I gotta earn my money. So I went and I got an iron and an ironing board, and I was ironing the dollar because earn and iron. I thought he meant iron, but he meant earn as in a different context. So I'm literally in here ironing this dollar, trying to get it as crisp and as straight. And then my dad was like, no, son, that's not what I meant. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
That's my first memory of money.
Oh man. So I typically have a follow-up question, and how do you think that affected how you think about money in the future? I mean, are you the type of person that keeps your money really crisp, folded, very
folded up? For the most part, right?
Oh man, that's amazing. Earn, yeah. I'm from the South, so my wife makes.
You feel me though? You gonna earn yours?
I see. I actually understand how that mistake was made. I get accused of. I'm going to pronounce it correctly. Clear my throat to say it. Orange. Okay, so I say it differently than that. Nah, it's just kind of like the whole earn thing. It's the same sound. Orange juice.
Same difference, right?
Like, what? Orange? I'm like, yeah. That's what I said.
Orange, like that's how it doesn't mean like strawberry or strawberry. Like I'd be like strawberry.
Yeah.
No, strawberry. Yeah. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Library.
Library.
Man, Southerners. All right, so moving past your first experience. Tell us a little bit more about as you got a little bit older, and because the decision that you made about working and having the side hustle. I mean, it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg?
But before that, just another like kind of childhood-ish experience. My parents kind of ingrained us to do like entrepreneurial activities even as like kids. Like we was probably like the third grade or something. We had like a candy store. We were running out our house, so it's like not. Just me and my brother, we had candy, and then kids would come by and.
I know the candy house. We had candy ladies. I know the candy lady.
Yeah.
Ice cream lady, snow cone lady.
So,
had them all. Yeah.
So we had candy, and then our parents put us in charge of it. So like even as far as like having to go restock and all that other stuff, like we were active in that. So like, oh, we want to buy this. Or well, if you buy that, you're not gonna be able to buy any more candy. So you're not gonna be able to buy more candy to sell. So I'm like, okay, so we can keep this, but then we got to save this so we can sell more candy, blah, blah, blah. And it was just a whole little situation for us. So I think that kind of also helped me understand the value of a dollar and that you have to plan instead of just blowing everything.
That's true. And you learned a lot about inventory and markup. How do you mark up prices? How do you? I'm sure your parents were taking you to either. Let's see, if you're around same age as I am, that's when Walmarts and Super Walmarts were first popping up. It might have been a Sam's Club. There you go. You go to Sam's Club. And you'd like, wait, I get how many blow pops in this big old tub? And we're selling them for $0.25 each. Quickly, I'm like, man, that's only half the tub. The other half is just all profit. Like, it blew my mind.
Don't eat them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't eat. You can't. Yeah. That's part of 10 Crack Commandments. We learned that.
Don't get out your own supply. Right?
You cannot do that. So fast forward to adulthood. Yeah. How are some of those things playing in? And again, I want to make sure that we capture this because again, there's over 10 million unemployed Americans right now. Those are the ones that we counted. Okay. After someone's been underemployed for a period of time, sometimes it might not even be in that number. But I'm curious, how did you make the decision from a financial standpoint for the entrepreneurship, and what keeps you going in that based on some of your history and your history with money?
What keeps me going as in
entrepreneurship? I asked, it was a loaded question. Let me back up. So earlier we talked about you working full time and doing the side hustle. But I'm trying to help you and others out there connect the financial part of that side hustle. It's like, what does that side hustle help you do from a financial standpoint? What are you able to do with that money?
The side hustle money is literally, I don't want to say like play money, but it's money that I can do things that I really want to do with. So it's like, it's a lower risk for me because it's like, all right, well, I got everything else paid. What I have right here, I can use to put in other investment, or I can use it to like I said, pivot, because there's actually some other things that I'm working on also. But it mainly relieves that type of stress, and know that I have that all my bills are paid, my son is provided for. Also, the other thing is just like health insurance wise for son and everybody, like keeping that job kind of keeps that stuff together, and then allows me to use the extra income from my entrepreneurial endeavors to further invest.
Indeed, I love it. So, what I heard you talk about from the beginning, there was it was a time equation. You said, okay, I'm going into catering. I'm doing it full time, but there's more time that I have, because catering's just in the evening and it's weekend. So it's what we call the 5 to 9. So you had the 5 to 9 first, and you were like, well, wait a minute, I've got enough time to also get a 9 to 5, and I can reduce my 5 to 9 so that I can still enjoy it. Okay. Because exactly. Like you said, it's in a high stress environment. There's a lot that goes into it. And you were able to assess the amount of risk you're willing to take. You say, you know what, because I have this 9 to 5, I know that I can focus on just this type of clientele, because I don't need that income just to pay the bills. I got the income to pay the bills. And it allows you to really focus on the clients that you want, the type of events that you want to do, and to your point, to take this pivot. Okay. Because part of that pivot we talked about at the top. You guys, if you haven't seen his video on how to make, what is it? It's a cherry cola. Oh, it's
a cherry cola chicken sandwich. Air fried cherry cola chicken.
Air fried cherry.
So a lot to
Now he makes it in like 30 seconds. I haven't figured out that part yet. But
TV magic, it's magic.
But you got to go check that out. So tell everyone how to find you on Instagram.
At Chef Raw is my Instagram, and I have a lot of other videos on BuzzFeed and Tasty also. So you can go to Tasty on YouTube, and then you can type in Chef Raw, and my other videos will pop up as well.
So you said Chef Raw on YouTube.
So no. my Instagram page is Chef Raw.
Okay, Chef Raw on Instagram. Then YouTube was.
And if you want to search for me on Tasty, which is a popular cooking channel.
Ah, that's what it is. Tasty cooking channel. I'm writing that one down.
Yes.
Okay. So
I got some other recipes on there.
Got it. Indeed.
Well, it's not a real mac and cheese recipe, but I got potato salad. I got some other stuff. There's just stuff on there for you.
Wait, now I'm all confused. Wait, it's not a real mac and cheese, or it's like fake mac and cheese?
It was flaming. They had some flaming hot Cheeto macaroni and cheese that they.
I think you put that out. I think I saw that on your page at some point, and I think I looked at it. I was like, I'm not doing that, but exactly, I see why people would. So I understood it, but it wasn't something I was gonna do. Hey, Chef Raw, thank you for taking some time to stop by the Money Script Podcast. We appreciate you. We look forward to cooking some food with you really soon. We're gonna have to get onto that planning, because you helped me already fix it. So I like that. So we're gonna talk about that. So until next time, we'll see you on the Money Script Podcast. Y'all make sure you're saving money and shopping, at a grocery store, because you'll probably save some money doing that. And if you need any help on some recipes, Chef Raw's got you covered. See y'all next week. Thanks for joining us on the Money Script Podcast. Be sure to check out our other episodes, subscribe, follow, and give us 5 stars. Continue to send your financial questions on Twitter or Instagram at The Money Script. Go to moneyscriptwealth.com and schedule your complimentary consultation to discuss your specific goals and concerns. Financial advisory and investment management services are offered by Money Script Wealth Management PLLC, a registered investment advisory firm registered in the state of Texas and California and other states where exempt. The Money Script LLC and the Manuscript Wealth Management PLLC and guests of the episode may have interest in the investments mentioned today. The opinions and views are expressed here are for informational purposes only. This material is educational in nature and should not be deemed as a solicitation for any specific product or service. All investments involve risk and a significant loss of principal. The Manuscript nor Manuscript Wealth Management offer tax or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney for specific advice about your situation. Until next time.